Greetings Cornerinos and welcome to this week's episode of Ian's VR Corner. It's a different one this week because I'm not going to be playing through any games for you. Instead, I'm going to be talking about my experiences at Oculus Connect 6 and the 6 best games that I played there. Now, I did try to record a vlog while I was out there because, you know, going to San Jose and stuff, kind of exciting. Oculus Connect 6, not a big event, not many people get to go there. Could have been an interesting thing to show behind the scenes of. Unfortunately, once I got there, I found out that it was a little bit more tech focused than I thought it would be. But, you know, I made a start on the vlog, as you can see here. Greetings friends, 'tis I, Ian Higton from Eurogamer, here at Oculus Connect. So as you can see, the intentions for a vlog were there, but after I filmed that, we got actually shuffled into the keynote where Mr. Roboto himself, Mark Zuckerberg, came up and made some really exciting announcements about Oculus and the Oculus Quest in particular.
We have a new product that we're calling Oculus Link that is going to make it so that if you have a gaming PC and a USB-C cable, you're now going to be able to run all the Rift content on your Quest.
And then after that, we were allowed into the main arena. I instantly set up to record a show floor tour, and here's a quick look at my first impressions of that. Gonna make my way into Hall 1 now. I've had a quick peek in. I didn't get to go in here before the keynote because it was all locked up because they had a few games in here to announce during the keynote, including Medal of Honor, the new Respawn game, and of course the release of Vader Immortal Episode 2 today. Well, today, probably not the day you're watching this, but you know what I mean. Anyway, first impressions of this hall, it's pretty bloody empty. There isn't too much. Well, there's an absolutely huge empty space in the middle here. But we'll have a little tour and go and see what's going on. The biggest queue by far is for Medal of Honor. Yeah, there's a few people wanting to try out Vader Immortal Episode 2, but because it's out right now on headsets and the public can get it, I don't think people are as excited to try it out. We've got the pick and play area here, where you can try out the Oculus Quest and try a number of different titles on it. Oh, this is actually the Oculus Link here. So the Oculus Link was quite an exciting new announcement that Mark Zuckerberg did. It doesn't look like Echo VR Quest is very busy. This is Stormland here. It's where storms come from. It's where storms are born. Yeah, a little bit underwhelming, but there seems to be some cool tech on display here. And I'm hoping to bring you some information about the games that I play on Eurogamer.net very soon. So yeah, it was hardly an EGX or a PAX or an E3 in terms of excitability and big bright lights and you know, extravagant stands. It was quite low key and everyone was queuing up nice and politely, which led to me having to queue up for games as well, and a lot of the queues were over an hour long because there just weren't that many booths to play on. But all those queues didn't stop me from trying to play some games, and in fact I played quite a few. So here are 6 of the best that I played at Oculus Connect 6. It's for the love of the game. So the first thing I want to talk about isn't actually a full game. It's actually an update for Beat Saber. It's the 360 mode that people have been looking forward to for ages now. Beat Saber took to the stage at Oculus Connect 6 to announce a Panic at the Disco crossover DLC pack, which, you know, I'm not a fan of their music, but it's nice to have some more choice on the game, that's for sure. But no, I queued up at a pick and play area and I went hands-on with the 360 update for the Quest version of Beat Saber, where I played an Imagine Dragons song on hard mode. it was pretty cool. Having to change direction took a little bit of getting used to, kind of having to keep an eye out on your peripheral vision for new tracks emerging was a skill I had to learn on the spot, but yeah, it wasn't that hard to pick up. I was actually surprised by how little it made me turn. I don't feel like it was throwing many 360 turns at me. I don't know whether maybe bigger spins around the game world will happen in, like, you know, expert modes or what, but I did expect to be turning around a little bit more than I actually did. But it was awesome fun. I definitely will be playing the update when it is released, because it adds a little bit of extra flavour to the game. The Quest version, I believe, is the only one getting the 360 degrees update. I think, I could be wrong here, but I think wired headsets are going to get 180 degrees Beat Saber, because obviously Quest is wire free, so you can spin all the way around. But if you were to try and do that on a Rift or a PSVR or something, you'd quickly get tangled up. You go arse over tit and end up breaking your VR headset as it crushes your skull when you face plant the floor. And it's called Beat Saber, not Beat Your Face. The next game that really caught my eye was a sequel to a game that people in the Eurogamer comments are always telling me to play, and I still haven't been able to play it because I just don't have the ability to play it. And that is Lone Echo 2, which is the sequel to Lone Echo, if you didn't already guess.
Don't say a word. They can't know you're online. I promise I'll explain everything when I get back. I'm going to need your help.
On the Rift S, Lone Echo 2 looked absolutely fantastic. I wasn't given very long with the demo, probably about 10 minutes, but it started off with me floating around the interior of a spaceship in 0G. Didn't take me very long to get used to the movement. Floating along to another surface, grabbing hold of that was nice and easy with the touch controllers. There was an AI character there, the captain of the ship, I think, and she was kind of guiding me through what I needed to do. She looked nice and realistic. I was just gobsmacked by how gorgeous it looked, how smooth it was. And even though I came to a dead end pretty quickly and couldn't progress anywhere because I was stuck by a puzzle, I just enjoyed the fact that I was playing this incredibly polished experience.
I just need you to hold on, okay? I'm gonna get you patched up. I promise. We've been in tougher scrapes before.
It looks like there's going to be a really cool in-depth sci-fi mystery story there, with a bit of peril as well. There were some weird floaty blobs that were threatening to latch onto our faces or something. But anyway, whether I get a face full of alien spooge or not, I'm really looking forward to being able to play through this when it comes out. Thanks to the Oculus Link. Now, the Oculus Link is something I'm going to get into a little bit more on the next game I talk about, but it means that with my Quest headset, I'm going to be able to play any kind of Rift games that are out on the store via that headset wired to my PC. So that also means I'm going to be able to cover more Rift games, and also I'm probably going to be able to stream Rift games as well, hopefully. So, you know, good news all around for Quest owners like me.
Just sit tight.
Okay, so on to game number 3 then, and that was Stormland. It's an Oculus Rift game, but I played it on the Oculus Quest via the Oculus Link.
You must forge a new path where you were not destined to walk. You were destined to fly.
Now, the Oculus Link is an update that's coming in, I believe, November to the Quest, and it's going to allow you to connect your Quest to a gaming PC and use that as a kind of like a Rift headset. So it's basically doubled the usefulness of the Quest and made it a really, really attractive piece of kit, and kind of almost resigned the Rift S to the scrap heap. I mean, if you're going to choose a Rift S over a Quest, I don't know what the benefits would be of the Rift S. Now, you kind of get the best of both worlds with the Quest. But either way, I was incredibly impressed by what I saw when I put the Quest headset on and played Stormland. Now, I played Stormland before at the there was a launch event for the Oculus Quest and the Oculus Rift S a few months ago. I played Stormland there on the Rift S. It looked incredible, and on the Quest it looked just as good. I spent a long time leaning into NPC robots and checking out their textures, checking out the looks of my hands and stuff, checking out the draw distance, and it just looked beautiful. I don't think I've ever seen graphics look that good on the Quest. It was so sharp and so clear. I did loads of clicky handy things to try and test the latency. There didn't seem to be any problems with latency. I moved my head quite a bit to see if I could see any artifacting or blurring, and you know, I didn't, to my untechy, untrained eye, I didn't notice anything untoward. It just looked fantastic, and the fact that we're going to be able to play a game as well polished as Stormland is very exciting indeed for Quest owners like myself. Now, the cable that was connected to the Oculus Quest was a prototype cable. It wasn't the exact cable that they're going to be selling, but it was, I was told it was 6 meters long, and it was USB-C to USB-C, and that it was a fiber optic cable. The only downside is that cable is going to cost about $80, which is pretty incredible for a cable, but when you think about it, you're not going to have to buy yourself a Rift S to be able to experience games like Stormland and the next game that I'm going to talk about. I will say as well that the clips and stuff that were connecting the cable to the Oculus Quest, they kind of ran down the side of the Oculus Quest and off the back. They were also prototype clips, but I presume the cable is going to come with these clips, so the cable won't just be hanging down off the side of the Oculus Quest like the charging cable does. It'll run around your back and won't get in your way. So yeah, exciting times for Quest owners because of just the amount of games that we're going to be able to play and the amount of good looking games we're going to play.
Reclaim your world. The storm is coming.
The next game I'm going to talk about is basically my game of the show. It is Medal of Honor Above and Beyond. I've already done a bit of a write-up of my experiences and an interview I did with Peter Hirschman, the game director. That's up on Eurogamer.net right now. I'll leave a link in the description for that if you want to go and read more about it. And there's also a video up on the channel of my first impressions playing the game. Now, I had to film off-screen for this. I was not allowed to film on-screen. I had to keep myself in vision, and I wasn't allowed to direct capture. I've seen a lot of comments from people going, oh, the video, it's half wall, oh, what an idiot. I couldn't do it any other way. If I could have brought you a clearer, more detailed video, I honestly would have done. Please accept my apologies that I couldn't do, but you know, I did the best I could. There's not many gameplay videos out there showing Medal of Honor Above and Beyond being played, apart from one, I think, from the YouTube channel Tested. I think it's just them and me, so you know, I did the best I could. It's one of the only places you're going to be able to get to see the game being played by an actual person. My door's knocking. Bloody postman, where was I? Oh yeah, so apologies that I couldn't show the gameplay super great, because I found the game super great. I really did. From the first moment I put on the headset and entered the tutorial level, I knew I was looking at a game that has had a lot of money lavished on its production. The very first kind of shot you get when you load the tutorial is you come out onto this airfield, and there's a bunch of planes in the distance just parked up on a runway, and everything about it just looked sharp and clean and clear and bright, in focus. It was an incredibly good looking game. Now, firing the guns was great. Another problem with the video I recorded with my hands on is that you can't hear the audio. All the audio was great. One of the things the developers Respawn have tried to do is get that physicality of VR into the game. So there's no automatic reloading. You have to manually pull out clips, manually put them back in again, cock the gun, and all of this stuff really immerses you in the experience. Firing the guns felt really nice, and there was a little bit of haptic feedback, so you felt a little bit of a kick from the guns when you fired them. The only complaint I'd have with the guns is that the sniper rifles, instead of something like Farpoint or Firewall 0 Hour, where you lift the scope up and you still can look down the scope and see 3D, it becomes a flat image. If you've ever played Borderlands 2 VR, when you scope in that, you get just a flat 2D image. That happens when you scope in Medal of Honor Above and Beyond, and it was a little bit jarring. It didn't feel quite right compared to just the magnificence of the rest of the game. The main level I played through during that demo time was set in a Gestapo HQ, and again, it looked gorgeous. The first few rooms I spawned in were a little bit empty. There wasn't too much around, and I was kind of worried that they'd done that thing where they put all the budget and the artwork into the tutorial to make people who first play it go wow, and then they kind of ease off as they go on. But as I went through the Gestapo HQ, it got a lot more detailed. There was more props to pick up and play with. At one point I threw a knife at a Nazi, another point I threw a pan at a Nazi. There was a really cool moment where I pulled a grenade with my teeth, threw it down a corridor to some Nazis, closed the door, waited for it to explode, then opened the door again, saw loads of Nazi corpses in front of me. That made me giggle. So Respawn's just ability to make it feel like I was in a real place was just really impressive. They've done a great job. I was a little bit worried about the AI. The AI wasn't incredible, but there is still a few months to polish that off. And by the looks of the B-roll gameplay in the trailers, there's going to be loads more stuff to do than just shooting Nazis. It looks like there's loads of there's about 50 levels, I think, and there's so many different locations. There's like a train level, there's like puzzles you can do. I think there might be a submarine level, there's climbing. It just looks like there's going to be absolutely every kind of cool thing you can do in VR in this one game, which is going to be about 10 to 12 hours long. And there's multiplayer, although I didn't get to play that, sadly, and they're keeping what that's going to be like under wraps. But if it's as polished as the single player stuff, I reckon we might have one of the best multiplayer VR games available once that comes out. The next game up on my schedule was Echo VR. Now this is, I think this is the Quest version of the Rift multiplayer game Echo Arena, which is the multiplayer version of Lone Echo, I think.
Fly free in 0G.
This is a 4v4 sports game, sci-fi sports game set in 0G. You have to grab a frisbee by floating through this arena, grabbing hold of floating blocks to power yourself forwards. You have to grab a frisbee, get it to the opposition team's side, and throw it through a goal. It's very extreme. This is the sort of thing that newcomers will puke on their shoes with, I think. But, oh boy, it was good fun. The team I was up against, I think, had played Echo Arena before because they absolutely wiped the floor with us. But even though I was getting just trounced, I had a really good time. One of my favourite things about it, because you grab scenery to move along, and you grab the frisbee. One of my favorite things is with the grabbing mechanism, because you can grab other players, and I was giggling so much when I was chasing opposition players, because I could grab them by the legs, climb up their bodies, and then activate the punch button and just donk them on the head, and then grab the frisbee and like tee off. I really enjoyed doing that. It just brought a smile to my face. It brought quite a bit of sweat to my brow as well. With the Oculus Quest, I was able to 360 move around, so there was a lot of physical movement. And being able to play Echo VR on the Quest wherever you want without cables is gonna be pretty cool. And it looks fine. It looks fine in the Quest. I've not played Echo Arena, but Echo VR, it looked great. I had no problems with the visuals at all. It was good. Sci-fi. It was like I was in Tron. And the final game I want to talk about in this 6 best games of Oculus Connect 6 video is the Room VR Dark Matter. Now, I played the Room VR Dark Matter on the Quest, and I gotta say, the graphics looked great. Everything was nice and crisp and clear when I was in there. It's like a Victorian themed escape room game with a bit of a spooky spiritual overtone to it. The puzzles are actually quite tricky. They take a little while to work out, but they have the habit of making you feel really clever once you've done it. I had to queue for about 90 minutes to play this game, and then I only got about 10 minutes to play it. But I felt like I got quite far. I went through the tutorial bit where I had to work out how to open a safe, and then I ended up in this, it was like a museum storeroom with loads of Egyptian relics in there. If you enjoy puzzlers and you enjoy good looking atmospheric games with creepy stories, then this one's definitely one to look out for in the future when it comes out. Was it worth queuing 90 minutes for? Definitely was. Would I have rather have not queued 90 minutes for it? Yes, I definitely could. I definitely would have rather not have done that, because that meant I couldn't play all the games that were at Oculus Connect 6. So, with that in mind, here's 2 honourable mentions of games that I saw there that I didn't get to play.
Mine is no ordinary forge, and this is no ordinary steel.
The first was Asgard's Wrath. That was also playable on Oculus Link. Asgard's Wrath is a game I played back at the Oculus Quest, Oculus Rift S launch thing. It was really good fun when I played it. I just played like a combat area mode, so it's swords and shields, first person combat. It was really cool, kind of gory. I like being able to chop people in half and things. But I believe Asgard's Wrath is also going to have like a big story mode as well. I saw a lot of people playing that. The queue was quite big. And that's definitely going to be one to look forward to if you want a big polished release.
Eternal glory awaits.
And the other game that I really wanted to play and I queued up for but ran out of time, I had to get to the airport so I couldn't play it in time, was something called Phantom Covert Ops. I think that's the title of it. It's made by Dreams, the people who once upon a time made PlayStation Home, but it's nothing like that. From what I can gather from what people said, it's kind of like a Splinter Cell, Metal Gear Solid meets Sniper Elite almost. In the demo, people were sat on chairs and they were using the touch controllers to row a canoe down a little river, and then I think they have to like set up a sniping spot and snipe a target and try and stay as stealthy as possible. Sounds like just the kind of game I'd love in the in VR. It was playable on the Quest, but yeah, I didn't get time to play it. Hopefully I'll be able to do a preview of it at some point, because I've been in touch with the developers since to register my interest. But it's one that's definitely on my radar, and I'd suggest you keep on your radar too if you enjoy immersive, stealthy combat simulators, I guess. And that, my friends, is the end of my Oculus Connect 6 roundup video. The conference itself was a little bit underwhelming to me because I'm more focused on games than I am on tech. There were so many people who make games and are tech journalists out there that were getting loads of stuff that just flew completely over my head, to be honest. But it's made me excited for the future of VR. There's a tendency to feel like VR's not growing at a very great rate. It's still very niche, but seeing the AAA budget game Medal of Honor Above and Beyond out there and playable was incredible to know that when developers can have the time and the budget to make something amazing on VR, it is possible. I'm hoping that the Oculus Link will entice more people to buy an Oculus and increase that market a bit more. I still think maybe we're going to need another generation before VR fully takes off. But if you have already adopted a VR headset, there's loads to look forward to in the future. Because of course, Medal of Honor Above and Beyond, even though it's a Rift S exclusive, you're going to be able to play it on the Oculus Quest as well via the link cable. So yay for VR. Thank you so much everybody for watching anyway. I've been Ian Higton. This has been Ian's VR Corner. If you've enjoyed this, there are plenty more Ian's VR Corner videos to watch that are on screen right now in that playlist that you can click on, and do like and subscribe for plenty more Ian's VR Corner videos every Sunday. It's Sunday VR Fun Day, friends. Bye.